Welcome to a special presentation of Sellout Crowd, Conversations with Coach. I'm Bob Stoops, and I'm taking time to talk with my friends and colleagues in the sports world to get caught up and share some stories. But first, I want to say thanks to these sponsors: Rose Hill Builders, First Fidelity Bank, and Louis Bar and Grill. Today I'm joined by George Kittle, picked in the 7th round in the 2017 draft by the San Francisco 49ers, a 5-time Pro Bowler, and a first-team All-Pro in 2019 and again this year in 2023. Hello, everybody. I am joined by George Kittle, none other than George. George, we've been lifelong friends, your family, our family, forever. Great to be with you here today. Let's have a little bit of fun for a few minutes, right?
Hey, sounds good, Bob. I appreciate the invite, the wonderful introduction. Just like old times, baby.
Well, listen, people don't know. I want to brag on your parents right off the bat, right?
Please do.
Listen, your parents and I go all the way back to Iowa, back to 1978 when I arrived at Iowa. Your dad and I played together at Iowa. Your dad, I'm going to brag on him. Our Rose Bowl, our Big Ten championship team, Rose Bowl team, he was one of our captains. As tough a guy I've ever been around, not only as an O-lineman, but also a wrestler. And as you know, Bruce and I lived together. I mean, roommates, I don't know how many years between playing together and then as graduate assistants. We hung out all the time and lived together. I don't know how many years in each other's weddings. But also your mom, Jan, I met within the first couple of weeks of your dad dating her. He wanted me to meet Jan. I'm like, I got to meet this girl. Beautiful, tall, 6-foot, blonde Jan, but not only beautiful person, beautiful girl. She's a Hall of Famer at Drake University as a basketball player, 2-time, right?
And high school softball and basketball too.
Incredible athlete. I want to say,
I'm still here.
All right. Was she the Drake's all-time leading scorer for a while?
I think so for a little bit. I'm pretty sure she has it at her high school, but yeah, she dominated it.
Absolutely. So I'm thinking you got all your toughness and physicality from your dad, and all the moves and the agility from your mom. How do you think that worked out for you?
Kirk Ferentz always told me I got all my ability from my mom's side of the family.
That's because Kirk coached your dad.
Exactly. Yeah, he was his own line coach back in the day. So, yeah, no, definitely, my mom definitely was the basketball player. I don't know if my dad played too much basketball, but a lot of the mindset stuff is definitely from old Pops.
Don't worry. I was around your Pops all the time. Basketball wasn't his deal. No. But I love the guy. He's an incredible – and coached with us here at OU for a good number of years, was off the field and then on the field. And
yep.
Love him. You know that. Did a great job here for us. And I think an interesting story, because I want to get some things that people – you're on. I saw you on the Pat McAfee show today. So
I was on there.
I got bumped to the evening because you're on ESPN. But talk about I love Jan's family. Your in-laws. Not your in-laws. Your aunts.
Yeah.
And your grandmother. Talk about Jan being one of 10 girls.
Yeah, absolutely outrageous. My mom is number 7 of 10 daughters. One is adopted. She was an Eskimo. So they have 10 girls all on the farm in Mount Union, Iowa. My grandma Lucky, Lou Jean, is still alive. She's just turned 101 years old. Still watches. Yeah, crazy. Still, and like she still looks like she's looked like she's 80 for the last 15 years. It's unreal. She looks incredible. I'm pretty sure she stopped driving just recently, which is pretty funny as well. The things you can do in small town Iowa. But yeah, no, the whole family were freak athletes. My mom's dad, my grandpa Bob, he was actually drafted by the Chicago Cardinals in the NFL draft back in the day, but he turned it down to be a farmer because farmers made more money. How about that?
I don't think
Unreal.
that's the case now. But I see pictures of I've seen Lucky, your grandmother, 101. She was at a game recently, right?
Yeah, she came. I have a couple family members. Two of the daughters live down in Arizona, so they all came down to. There's like four daughters, and my grandma Lucky came down to the Arizona Cardinals game we played there a couple weeks ago. And then the year before, she came out when we played the Washington Commanders at home on her birthday, and the entire stadium sang her happy birthday. That was pretty special.
At 100 years old, right?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, we got her out on a PJ, so I thought that was a pretty fun experience for her birthday. All the daughters were on it. It was a special experience. My mom was very happy. Pretty fun.
That's so cool. Now I believe they used to, when they would send mail to your mom's farm, it was the girls' farm.
The girls' farm. Right? It's definitely the girls' farm. My grandpa was the only guy on the whole farm. The girls ran the show.
The dress, right? They just said the girls' farm.
Everyone knew exactly where it was going. One of a kind location, baby. Great corn.
Well, yeah, they're the best, and we love all you guys, and I can't wait. I'm lucky enough to come out, Carol and I, to see you this weekend playing the championship game, and to see you and Claire and Jen and Bruce and everybody. I don't know if any of your family's coming. I don't want to get into the game just yet, but what are some your wife Claire?
Yeah.
What are some things you guys like to do out of season, off season, when you're not just into football?
Well, off season, Claire, we love to travel. Last year we went to Italy. That was a fun one for us. Like we just like to go to some different places. Let's see. We were in Rome, and then we were up on the East Coast. I have a deal with a company called Techno Gym, and their whole factory's out of Italy. And so we were up there for a couple days, but thoroughly enjoyed Rome. I'm a big history buff, and so the Vatican and the Colosseum were two things that I found pretty. I mean, how cool are those?
I did as well. I love those.
It's like how unique of an experience. Like you just don't see anything like that anywhere else. And then I love the beach. I love Cabo. I'm a huge Bahamas guy. So just get me on the beach with a beer in my hand and I'm doing pretty good. Saying some tequila.
Yeah, just like your dad. I get it.
I know you're not wrong. Besides that though, like we have a place in Nashville, Tennessee, and I know football is kind of a 365 days a year job. And so after those couple breaks I take, like I'm at my property 5 days a week training. I built a whole football facility, got a 40-yard football field, got like 10 to 15 guys that train with me every day. So we grind pretty much year round. It's pretty fun.
People have no idea what an NFL guy, they just see Sunday or Monday night and they have no idea the commitment, do they? Just how hard you train, correct?
I mean, for me, like I always viewed it as this, man. It's been my dream to play in the NFL since I was, as early as I can remember. And when I finally got my opportunity, I was like, I'm not going to let this go by. So one thing I know I can do is I'm going to work as hard as I possibly can, as much as I possibly can, and do everything I can to get my body as physically and healthy and mentally ready as I can for each season. And so, not everybody trains the way that, I do in Nashville, but I found a lot of success doing it. And the guys who I train with have also found success doing it. So we grind, 5 days a week, you get your weekends off, and I'll see you Monday through Friday for about 4 hours, 8 to noon, and we get after it, baby.
No, and that's how you're on. This is your 7th year, right?
Yep.
Yeah. How about that? And it's an incredible career. I love it. Now, you have tight end U every spring or summer. You have tight end U.
Yep, mid-June.
Mid-June.
Yep.
Now, I know you have one of our OU guys, Braden Willis, there.
Yes,
I
we
want
do.
to know, does Blake Bell show up from the Chiefs?
Yes.
Blake is an OU guy, a great guy, isn't he?
Oh.
And Mark Andrews also.
Yep.
Who else am I missing? Our guys are showing up to your tight end U.
So my rookie Braden Wills didn't show up this year. He chose to go on vacation instead of the tight end U. But you know what? I'm just holding that against him. I'll get him back for that at some point. No, Blake Bell. I think he didn't. They didn't come this last year. They went to the first couple years though. I think they were having their first kid, or one or the other. And then Mark Andrews shows up. So all the OU guys show up. They enjoy themselves. it's a really fun time. You get 85 NFL tight ends in the same room talking about ball. It's just kind of fun to see how different, well, your lifestyle is, where you came from, how you see the game, and listen to like really good players talk about it is a very special event.
Now, how many days are you guys there for tight end U?
You fly in on a Tuesday. We have like a Tuesday night welcoming show party. Just kind of get to know each other. And we work Wednesday. We have an event Wednesday night. We have work on Thursday, which is like we're in like Vanderbilt lets us use their facilities, and so like we sit in a big auditorium. Travis will bring in film. Like this year, he talked about running the same route versus different coverages. I talked about outside zone. Greg Olson's talks about something. This past year, we had Gronk. He came in and talked about yak. Jordan Reed, the former tight end for the Washington Commanders, Redskins at the time, and for the Niners, he came in and talked about releases because he's one of the best route running tight ends I've ever seen. And it was just kind of fun. And, guys get to ask these guys questions. How do you play in the league for 10 years? It's really, really helpful for guys who are just trying to, achieve all their goals and their dreams. And so when you can bring it all together and guys are open to sharing, it's a fun experience.
That's really cool. I love it. George, you were born in Madison.
Yep.
You grew up mostly in Iowa, where your parents are from.
Yep.
Then you graduated high school from Norman High School.
That I did.
But talk about that path. Anyway, how about more than anything, your time here at Norman High? And then your young years getting in trouble with my boys. I'm trying to think anything big because you were a big instigator. You were like a cousin, a big brother to my sons, Drake and Isaac.
I definitely was, man. Ton of memories of Drake and Isaac. Honestly, like my favorite ones were when we lived up in Iowa. You guys would drop them off for a while, and we would just run around on the farm and just mess around, make things up, use our imaginations, probably break stuff. They would always fight each other and get mad at each other. That was a guaranteed, no matter what. Play basketball. They were fantastic, man. They are because I only have an older sister, so getting to hang out with Drake and Isaac, they're both my little brothers, and so being able to stay in contact with them, see what they've done with their lives. Drake playing for 6 years at Oklahoma, like how fun is that? Dude, you get to coach your son in a bowl game too. Like how fun is that too? Getting a touchdown in the bowl game. So yes, have a wonderful relationship with your boys, and they are. Yeah, I wish I was seeing them this weekend, but I guess they have other things they would like to do.
Well, they do, but Isaac came out to see you last year, I think, or 2 years ago. I know Isaac was out to hang out with you and stay for a while, and love seeing Emma. I'm on your dad's podcast, Bruce, with Emma and you. I don't know how many days you're on, but I see your dad a lot, and I see Emma. Love seeing Emma on there. She's doing great, right?
She is. She just got married this past year. Her and her husband actually pitches in Japan, just north of Tokyo. So he just signed a new deal over there. He was in Sapporo the last 2 years, and he just signed in like a team just north of Tokyo. So he leaves actually on Sunday. He's not coming to the game, but then she'll meet up with him like a month later. And then, I won't see him again until October, November. How crazy is that?
That's crazy, but good for him. He's still playing pro baseball. That's awesome. Talk about, we're both Hawkeyes. Your dad's a Hawkeye. Talk about your Iowa experience and all the tight ends that have come through Iowa. I'm in a fantasy league. I got you, so but all the other guys, all my buddies pick up the other Iowa tight ends. Is that not canny, all the great tight ends out of Iowa?
It's so consistent. One of the coolest things I heard was that Coach Ferentz, if you're a tight end at Iowa, you have like a 99. If you start at Iowa at any point in your career, you have like a 99% chance to make at least a practice squad in the NFL for at least one season. It's like you're guaranteed a chance in the NFL. And I thought that was pretty awesome. And, I didn't have a lot of options, and Iowa was definitely the biggest one for me to go to on full ride scholarship. And so my experience there was one of the best things I heard too in the beginning was if you don't learn how to run block, you'll never play it down here. And so I took that to heart, and I was a wide receiver, free safety in high school. I was not very physical, and it just kind of took reps and reps and reps. And, eventually got to, where I am today of just, trying to be my best in the run game and being effective in the pass game. And you just kind of learn that. And it's kind of, sometimes you feel like you're just headbutting a wall once in a while, but I think that's really good for you, and it builds character to some degree. And Once you get, if you can do 5 years, at a Big Ten school, especially the University of Iowa, you're mentally
Yeah,
set up. You're mentally set up to succeed at life. I will say that.
yeah. You're not afraid to run into anybody, and I'm guessing your dad Bruce had a little bit to do being an offensive tackle. He taught you a little bit about how to put your face on somebody and get those hands inside and drive block, right?
Oh man, first step, second step, leverage, hands, where your hat's going. Yeah, that's all I think
Oh,
about. There's a checklist, and like I've done this checklist for the last 10 years now of playing football. Hey, first step, second step, aiming point, hands, and that's what I think about every time I'm in practice, every time I'm hitting a sled, every time I'm in a game. That checklist just goes off, and so I know exactly what I'm doing every play because I've done it for so long, and it's pretty fun too. Like it's like 10,000 reps. That's how you get good at something. I've definitely taken 10,000 reps in the run game. I'll tell you that.
yeah. Well, it works. All right. Before we finish and get to your championship game coming up, you're a big wrestling fan, pro wrestling, WWE.
I
They got
love
all
it.
the new ones. I got to tell you, 2 weeks ago, I'm in Florida. I go up to Jacksonville Beach with Carol. My wife and I go up to see JR, Jim Ross.
Oh,
You
JR.
know JR, of course. We
Yeah.
had a great lunch, hung out with JR for a couple hours. But how'd you become such a big pro wrestling fan?
Dude, it's actually crazy because I wasn't really a huge fan growing up. I like The Rock, I like Stone Cold, but like I didn't watch it regularly. And then I had a teammate in college. His name's Steve Manders. He played fullback, and he was like born and raised on WWE. And he just started making me watch all these old matches, and I just got hooked. It was my junior year of college in the summer. Bob, I'm not lying. So
Yeah.
like we would work out. He had the 6 a.m. workout. He'd work out 6 to 8. I'd work out 8 to 10. And he would just moped over to my house. I lived like a block away from Kinnick at the time. And I'd get home from my workout at 10 o'clock, and we would watch the WWE network from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. My internet bill was through the roof every single month. We watched everything you could watch, and I just got hooked on it. And then that night I started to meet people, get to go to the shows, and I just got a respect for they perform like 3 to 4 days a week. That's hard stuff to do, putting yourself out there that many times. And it's hard to fake jumping from the top rope through a table on the bottom, man. That's like a 10-foot fall. So I just have the utmost respect for him.
Now, I hope that was in the summer, not during class time when you'd watch them all day. Okay,
Little bit of both.
Let me ask you. I know you've played. This is your 7th year. Hopefully, you play another 7, 8. When you're done, you might be one of those guys. Could you see yourself doing it? I mean, you got the size. You're a big monster of a guy. I mean, if you would consider it, what would your name be?
See, I get asked that one a lot, Bob, and I don't want to put a name on it because I don't know. I've never thought about it. Like the coolest thing for me was a couple years ago, The Rock called me the people's tight end. And so I just kind of ran with that one because, if The Rock gives you a nickname, you got to kind of roll with it because, yeah, you got to roll with that one. That's pretty sick. So that's where I'm at right now. I definitely could see myself, at some point, kicking someone through a table or something like that, doing some moves on people.
You've
I'm open
already
to it.
been on stage with some guys, right?
Yeah, I was at WrestleMania this past year. I got to help Pat McAfee beat The Miz. I got to clothesline a guy. That was pretty fun. So hopefully I get back in the ring at some point. And, I'm very open to all possibilities. I'm not going to say no to anything until my wife tells me no.
I love it. Well, you'd be good at it. I know that. You're a character. People have I think people have a little idea, but you got more to offer. Now, finishing up, big game this weekend, the championship game Sunday. Carol and I are lucky enough to be there with you and watch it. And what are some keys, to the game beating the Detroit Lions?
Let's see. I think number one key is come out fast. Last week we did not versus Green Bay Packers, and it was kind of a sloppy game, rainy game. All 3 phases, we weren't really flowing through the game together. Like you want to play a full football game together. And we were a little clunky, and so we figured it out in the fourth quarter, and our offense, defense.
You want to put a little doubt in them if you come out strong, right?
Yeah, you want to come out. Want to come out strong,
Yeah.
want to come out fast. Our crowd is phenomenal. Our playoff crowd is amazing. Levi Stadium is loud. They're very excited. All they want to see are touchdowns and sacks. So we'll get them into the game. I think the number one thing for me is get Christian McCaffrey the ball as many times as you possibly can. He is one of the best football players I've played, and I think our offensive line, tight ends, and fullbacks and wide receivers are blocking better than anyone in the league. And I just feel like if we can get to 30 runs with Christian McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell, you're going to see a lot of good football. And I love the run game. I love outside zone. And if you run the ball like 10 times in a row, a couple first downs, score a touchdown, it's very demoralizing for a defense. So that'd be my goal. And then I'd love for our defense to get some interceptions on Jared Goff.
Yeah, turnovers always matter, and
crazy.
And yeah, we need. You didn't also say get the ball to you 5 or 6 times, one way or another. Well, some passes like last week you had a touchdown. So let's make sure we get you one of those as well.
Yeah, they play a lot of man coverage, so it'll be very exciting for us because we got some very good man beaters. Brandon Ayuk's a phenomenal wide receiver, second team All Pro this year. Juwan Jennings, who had a huge game against Green Bay because Debo was hurt. Debo, I'm very confident that Debo will be in the game regardless of how he's feeling. You got, whether it's me or whether you got McCaffrey running routes too. We have a lot of options, and turns out Brock Purdy, just in his second year going to a second NFC Championship game, he's pretty good at football.
Yeah, no kidding. He's fantastic. I love watching that guy. He's just ultra efficient, right?
So efficient.
Yeah. Last thing, our man Trent Williams on the umpteen, I don't know how many years he's played now. Yeah. One of our OU Sooners, but the big man. How great is Trent? Talk about playing next to him all these years.
We got Trent in 2020. Incredibly excited about it. Just being around him, first off, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he still plays like one. That's what's so crazy. You're just around him every day. You see like his intensity in practice, how he does practice. And then it's like he flips a completely different switch when he gets to the game. He's like a completely different person. It's really impressive. The leader that he is on game day, the standard that he sets, the standard he holds himself to. And it's fun too. Like I've been very lucky and fortunate that for the last couple of years, I sit next to Trent on the flights. He's across the aisle from me. And the amount of film that this guy watches on flights, and it's just cut-ups of every defensive end that he's watching. He watches all their moves. He watches their counter moves. And he builds a plan about how to defend every single guy on every single pass rep. Watches their stance, watches their hands. Just his attention to detail in film is incredible. And I get why, he is the way that he is. And then you compare that and you match that with his insanely athletic ability, his strength. And holy cow, you've got the best offensive lineman to probably ever play the game of football. So lining up next to him it's amazing. I'm very lucky.
I was speaking, they called me a couple of days ago, the Wall Street Journal, about Trent. And I said, now, after 11, 12 years in the league, I go, to go with all this talent. I said his second year at OU, I said, he could be a D tackle. I really believe that. I mean, right? You know it now.
Yeah, he's the strongest guy I've ever seen.
Oh, and he's got the feet of, he got the best feet you'll see anywhere.
It's crazy.
But I said now, after year 11, to go with all this talent, he has all this experience. Like you said, studying tape, and he knows what these guys are doing. I said he could read a secondary or where a blitz is coming better than a quarterback can.
Right? I would take him over a lot of young quarterbacks. He knows everything. It's just really fun to see it, hearing him talk about it. Just being in lining up next to him and talking about how we're going to block the people in front of us. It's just really fun to just learning from Trent and getting used to blocking next to Trent, because I've never Trent's he's outrageous. Like his first step, his power. Like you could be like, hey, we're going to double team this guy up to the backer, and he goes, just go. I'll take care of the defensive lineman. I'm like, all right, sounds good, Trent. You do you, man. Don't want to get in your way.
I'll do the rest.
Yeah, I'm going to get off the tracks, baby. I don't want to get ran over by you.
Well, George, you're awful nice to join us on this Sellout Crowd, or my new venture here with some people with Sellout Crowd. And the Stoops family, absolutely proud of you and love you to death. And Carol and I can't wait to be with you this weekend. So appreciate you, man, and good luck.
Thanks, Bob. I had an absolute blast of a time. I can't wait to see you, man. You owe me a beer or two.
I'll get you more than a couple.
Can't wait, baby. I'll see you.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Yep. See you, Bob.
That wraps up this installment of Conversations with Coach. Follow and subscribe to this channel and visit selloutcrowd.com to to find out about upcoming programs.